My name is Stacey Roshan and I teach AP Calculus and Honors Algebra 2 at Bullis School in Potomac, Maryland. 4 years ago in my AP Calculus class, I felt like I was trying to get through too much material too quickly. I needed to go by the AP curriculum guidelines, but I really wanted to embrace our motto at Bullis, which is caring, challenging community. And I was challenging my students, but I didn't feel like I had enough time to be that compassionate teacher that I really wanted to be. I wasn't there when my students were struggling the most.
Math has always been one of my favorite subjects, but every night the biggest struggle was going home and struggling through the homework.
We were doing lecture in class, and then maybe 10 minutes at the end, students were trying to get all their questions answered, and so I wanted a better way. I thought to myself, well, if I didn't have to lecture, I would have all this great time, but how was I going to get away with that in an AP Calculus class when I had so much content to get through rather quickly? I went to a summer technology conference, and when I was there, I learned about Camtasia Studio, and as soon as I saw what the software would enable me to do, I knew that I had an answer to my question, how could I eliminate lecture?
Negative from here to here, and that's where the function is decreasing. So don't get confused.
By pre-recording my lessons on a PowerPoint, which I handed out to my students to take notes on, I was able to get that teacher-driven activity outside of the classroom. And then class time became more about the students.
We'd go home every night and we'd watch a video that was between 15 and 30 minutes maybe. We'd take notes on our PowerPoints, and the PowerPoints were printed out for us so we could just write on there. We had questions, we would write out all the problems, and then we would come in the next day and we'd work on the problems that we were supposed to. And we would sit in class, we could work with our friends, we could ask Ms. Roshan questions.
Because we had so much time, they were able to actually help one another and tutor one another instead of me having to do the majority of instruction. And last year we really played with student-created content. We have now a whole library of videos that my students made last year that my students this year will use to review.
I eventually, throughout the year, learned to think more like a teacher because I could see the way Mr. Roshan would approach a problem, and then I would carry that over to the homework and to the tests and quizzes in class.
After the first year flipping, 78% of my students earned a 4 or 5 on the AP exam, whereas the previous year only 58% had. And last year they were even better with 82% earning a 4 or 5. We really want to prepare our students to not just be able to do the problems that we're asking them to solve, but also to be able to think and invent. My students are very motivated, and this model does require them to be more independent, but I had a very strict structure in place. They knew their expectations, they knew what they needed to do coming into class, and so for us it worked really well.